John, do you like game shows?
Oh, I love game shows. It's actually one of my favorite pastimes is to watch old game shows. I'm a huge fan.
What's your favorite board game?
My favorite of all? Oh, I have so many I like. It's kind of an unfair question.
Well, then tell me a board game you like. Do you play board games?
Would you like to describe a time when you played a board game? He's full of
Lately, I've been working through this great show that I love called Now You See It from the 70s. It's pretty obscure.
What city do the football Dolphins call home? Yes, Evelyn.
Line 4.
Line 4 is right. Steve, where's the answer?
Position 1, Miami.
That's right, Miami. 5 more points for your team.
I love 70s game shows in particular. I have just recently gone through Match Game. I was rewatching Match Game 72 and 73.
I'm certainly glad you wore your undies and all that today.
Watching 1970s Price is Right with Bob Barker. I love all of that stuff. I'm a huge fan.
Just passing 300 now. On it goes. You're getting lots of help, aren't you? There, she stopped it. She has stopped it. And I think she stopped it not because she thought that was the price. She wanted to stop you folks, I think.
Everything is archived on YouTube. Like 2,300 episodes of Match Game are on YouTube. Wow. And they've been there for years, which is just unbelievable.
And is there an era you like it, like 70s or something?
70s and 80s, mostly. Yeah. There's a few shows I like in the 90s, too. But it's definitely 70s and 80s are, I think, the best time for those. Marks and Goodson Productions, all that kind of stuff. It's just the best.
There's no way that people younger than millennials would know the Bob Barker thing, which is that it just represented being off from school.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it absolutely did. I have fond memories of when I was 7 or 8 staying home from school and you'd watch it at 11 o'clock in the morning,
Yeah.
It was a big deal.
Because I assume kids nowadays just open their iPad or whatever.
Yeah. What's network TV,
They open their iPad and pop on The Price is Right. You have no idea what it's like.
Kids must say, I watch you when I'm home sick from school.
Did you watch it growing up? No, not them. I watched it when I was sick and,
Well, it's especially interesting because this week, of course, was last week actually was the final week for Wheel of Fortune.
Pat Sajak. Yeah, that's why that is the, yes, I was burying the lead. Pat Sajak after 41 years on television.
And by the way, you'll still see plenty of me for the next few months. That's right, summer reruns, so the jokes will be the same, but I'd appreciate it if you'd laugh again anyway. That's it. Thank you all so very much, and goodbye.
And it was only a week or two ago that somebody tried to solve the puzzle with right in the butt. Did you see that?
Yes, I did see that clip. It was hilarious.
Naggers.
It was, it didn't even make sense. The number of letters corresponding to it. Let's see. Now I've pulled it up. Yeah. It's like there's 4 letters. So that's not the word right. Yeah. And then, you had I and then a blank. So that could be in. And then it's clearly the THE. And then the best one of all, B blank blank T exclamation point. And the dude decided right in the butt. And he expected that to go, that's it.
I'm sure that was just for comedy's sake. It must have been, right? There was a classic clip where somebody guessed a group of pill pushers, which is another great answer too. And of course it wasn't,
A group of pill pushers? This is Wheel of Fortune, Joe!
And he goes, "This is Wheel of Fortune,"
Well, when the guy says it, Pat does not. They don't have a big laugh, and the whole audience is giddy. Pat tries to get through it. He's like, "No."
Tavares, right in the butt?
What?
No.
No. And then they move on from
that judgmental no. I love it.
No.
He's such a class act.
Todd.
T.
Yeah, 5 T's at $600 a piece. Take a look. Maybe you can do it. $1,600 a piece. I mean, he has $8,000. Shh.
It comes with the territory.
You got it. That's what we like. Nice job. That's better. That looks much better.
Oh man, that's a lot better than the zeros up there.
He didn't like the zero. He has zeros, but there's an 8 in front of him.
That's right.
$8,000. Thanks, Todd, very much.
Thank you so much, Pat. Pleasure to meet you.
He's part of that generation of game show hosts. There are so many great ones, in that early era. Bob Barker, Alan Ludden. There's just a ton of those guys who were like the hosts, right? Alex Trebek was the same thing, and he's the last one, from that generation.
Is that it for the show? Okay.
No, the show will continue, just with a new host.
Is Vanna White still on there?
She's gonna stay. Yep.
Remember, Vanna White was all the hotness when we were kids. She was like you had like Suzanne Summers, you had like Vanna White. She was a big deal. And I remember
she still looks really good.
Does she? Yeah. I mean, she's how old? How old?
I think she's in her 60s or 70s.
67 years old. Yeah, she looks good.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw a post the other day that was like, on this day in 2006, my favorite childhood movie, Cars, came out. I was like, didn't Cars just come out? 2006. So yeah, times. As George Carlin once said, this shit's moving, Ruth.
Pardon me, do you have the time? When do you mean, now or when you ask me? This shit is moving, Ruth.
I remember it came on at 7:00, and I can almost, honest to God, like the smell of like recently boiled pasta in my house, from like family dinner almost being ready while Wheel of Fortune is like kind of coming on the floor TV in the other room. It's like a really distant but like kind of vivid memory I have.
I would always see like the credits as you were going into like primetime TV.
Yeah.
It was the kind of show. It wasn't like Little House on the Prairie and MASH where everybody skipped it. It was it was in the way of normal programming. Wheel of Fortune, Jeopardy. First of all, they went together. Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy were like inseparable sisters, and they were always. I mean, in my opinion, Wheel of Fortune much more so than Jeopardy was always like a watchable show, like perfectly watchable.
Yeah,
very
accessible, very enjoyable.
That's what television was for a long time. It was like, all right, what will everybody watch?
Yeah.
They just spin a wheel and a hot lady will touch some letters. We'll have fun.
We'll all have a good time. It's entertainment for grandma too.
We need 5 consonants and a vowel.
Okay. Z, 4, Q, another Q, a third Q, and the Batman symbol.
Okay, no help there. 15 seconds. If you want to take a shot at it, talk it out.
Is it Alex Karras in Webster?
I don't believe it.
Oh my God, I just took a shot in the dick. Holy crap.
Okay. Just on the topic of being old and shit like that. I was thinking just today, Josh from Dancing with Ghosts. He did his own thrift store video where it was like, what's it like to buy CDs in 2024? And he was making me think about, I was like, what CDs have I owned? And I was thinking about, I was in college and I had like some Meatloaf CDs and it was like some of the only music I had for whatever reason. And I had like a little boom box that I could play CDs on. And I remember like when my roommate wasn't around, like he wouldn't sleep there a lot of the time. I would just lay in bed and like listen to a CD while I fell asleep. That was like very common. And it had never occurred to me until this moment that when you didn't have a smartphone to fuck around on before you went to sleep, you had nothing to fuck around on when you went to sleep.
No.
Because
you
if you're
laid down and went to sleep.
Yeah, if you're in the dark, you're not reading a book. And so like, and you probably, I mean, I guess you could play a Game Boy or something, but yeah, like for me, it was more like, when am I going to get up from this computer? Because I didn't have a laptop. It was just a desktop. When am I going to get up from my desk?
Log on.
Yeah. I log on. Now I log off and I get in bed and listen to a CD. And I was like, that's funny that like there just was no other option. It was like, I guess you could just like lay there and listen. You wouldn't listen to a podcast either because there's no listening mechanism really.
Yeah. Maybe you'd have a bunch of like books on tape. I don't know.
Yeah, you could.
No, one big thing I used to do, I used to put on Delilah. You remember Delilah? Her this nighttime show on Light 105. That was what I put on. Just put it on all night and just fall asleep,
That's interesting. What was it? What kind of programming was it?
Real, just light music, really kind of nothing beefy. It's just, real easy listening. She'd do requests, dedications, that kind of stuff.
If you have joined us for the very first time, I'm so glad that you're here as we take your calls and share your stories and do our best to smooth off the rough edges of your day. You're listening to Delilah.
I had a TV in my childhood bedroom with a VCR. I remember watching Star Wars, and then at some point it made sense to turn off Star Wars and fall asleep. But again, it was like there was not, the doom scrolling as you go to sleep. That's really a problem. They say put your phone in a different room than where you're sleeping, but like literally no one does that, right? That's
no.
Well, I've actually undertaken that recently because I was ended up doing that, spending way too much time in bed scrolling. And I've set a no social media platforms before 9 a.m. or after 9 p.m. And it really helps. It's just a rule,
Yeah.
And it helps you fall asleep better, and you don't wake up in the morning lying in bed just, it really helps.
Worried about whatever you just read about last night.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Let's move into another old guy topic.
Then the national anthem would play and the TV wouldn't have any programming after that.
I remember that.
Oh yeah. Oh, how could I forget? As a matter of fact, I was just thinking the other day, I used to get up earlier. My parents were early risers, and I still got up earlier than them when I was like 6, 7. I'd wake up at like 6 a.m, and God help me, I don't know his name. I'm sure we could find it on the internet easily. But there was a Bob Ross alternative. He was a fisherman, like on a boat, that was the conceit anyway. And he would paint dinosaurs, nature, animals, in the same style as Bob Ross, the kind of the quiet, we're just going to have a chat at 6 a.m, you and me, with a 7-year-old.
Look at that fella. Have you ever seen one in the garden? You'd see them on branches or leaves, and you might know they're there because they look so much like a little twig or branch.
Because I think for Christmas or something, I had gotten like an easel or something. So I was trying to follow along. I had I don't know where it would be now, but I had a sketchbook full of like drawings that I kind of pantomimed to this guy. It was the kind of television programming that we had as kids. It would have been the first thing to come on after the bars and tone from the previous 6 hours.
Yeah.
Right?
I would often catch it in the morning, never at night, but in the morning.
I think Bars and Tone started at, I want to say 11 p.m., maybe 11:30. Well, it would have been after late night shows, right?
Yeah. Depended on the network, but like PBS was, I think, 11.
I just love the notion of it. The unheard of notion of we have nothing left to show you.
Yep. And we know nobody's watching, so we won't show you anything.
Yeah.
We should do that. We should have since we've amassed so much content for Red Cow, we should have like a playlist that just plays random shit, and then at 11:30 it goes to Bars and Tone until 6 a.m.
Yeah, it'll play the national anthem, then it'll go to Bars and Tone.
Yeah, we could all do like a cappella version of the national anthem for everybody.
That'd be great. The Red Cow broadcasting cycle now concludes its broadcast day.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm kind of liking this idea.
I am too.
You're like, can we do it?
I want to shoot this like this closing night and opening day video.
We'll have a new channel. It'll just run continuously.
Yeah, like just have that be like some section of the website. redcow.tv/broadcast day.
Have like a schedule, like Box Back is every day at 6. Like that.
Yeah,
just tune in.
All right, that might be a really good idea, by the way.
They can have a Sunday afternoon movie,
Yeah. And then you air an all new Box Mac on Sundays, and
sure, yeah.
But otherwise, you run it into the ground with repeats, as we did as kids. But that's another idea, right? How about a Red Cow game show?
Oh, I would love to. Well, we've done a couple small ones on podcasts in the past, right?
Yeah.
And I would love to do one.
Like, what if you actually did like 20 episodes of That's Too Much or something?
Oh, yeah.
The basic premise of the game is I'm going to tell you an item. Okay. And in the first round, I'm going to tell you the item and its retail value.
Ooh, it's like Price is Right.
Retail value. You have to tell me how much you think I would pay for that item without going over.
Or true or false. And true or false graph could be like a lightning round.
Yep.
Right. As part of That's Too Much.
John's favorite yellow pattern, the one you see before you, is called township.
Oh, false graph.
False graph. That is correct. It is false graph. This is called
Village.
Village. That's absolutely correct.
One thing that had occurred to me actually is there's a game show I love right now. It's a British game show called Taskmaster.
Pineapple.
Conceal this pineapple on your person.
No part of the pineapple may be thrown away.
You have 20 minutes, after which Alex will inspect you.
Most incorrect guesses wins.
And I'm the only girl.
Your time starts now.
Right then. I guess I should eat some.
And we could do a red cow version of Taskmaster. A lot of channels have done this kind of idea. I think it would be hilarious. It would really be just an amazing kind of show. It would be such fun.
Listen, we've gotten some slobs. They've been amazing. They've really helped with the production cycle. If we can just like keep piling in more editors, I'll shoot anything as long as like somebody else can edit it.
Yeah,
I'll be happy to make the time to shoot it.
Subscribe to Red Cow Entertainment on Patreon for full episodes every other week.